I would love to transition to conversation as well and get to China, because you just spent a whole bunch of time there and you talked about the experience. And so just give us, forget about the bits and the bytes and everything, like talk about the vibe. Walking around the streets, what did you experience? What was different when you walked into the store from locals versus you there? Talk about that.
I felt everything was big. Like the size of these stores were big.
Yeah. Were you like a tourist looking up all the time?
And I was like all the time, like, oh, I think this is Champs-Élysées, like the equivalent of Champs-Élysées. Oh, this is probably their Fifth Avenue. But like every street was like that. I was like, oh, every store is big. Every feeling is like that, you know? And apparently they're so competitive that they have to wow the customers, otherwise the customers don't come in. So that's why I think it drives the innovation part of it, you know?
What was the biggest wow you experienced while you're on your trip? Like what was the store that just like stands out in your mind? You're like, wow, when I go back to Shanghai, I can't miss that store.
You'll be surprised, but I think it was Nike House of Innovation. It was the first store I walked into. So I think like for now, that's why I didn't have much expectation, because I've been to the one in New York, I've been to the one in Paris, and then I finally completed the 3 of them. And it just feels different. The communication in store is very good. A lot of QR codes, so everybody was checking their phone while they were engaging with products. A lot of descriptions and a lot of visuals. Everything was engaging, and it's just different. Like I think like they might go to New York and they'll be like, "That's it? This is what people think is nice."
You sound like my wife. About New York.
Yeah, but I was so wondering that all the time. I was like, do they go to New York and they'd be like, oh, is this New York? Like I have better home, you know? So
so interesting.
We were getting stuck on breakfast earlier in the podcast, and tell me about your breakfast in China.
So that was tough. I am vegetarian. So I don't eat animals, and that's always a struggle when I go to China. There was one time that I was at the breakfast and I was exploring to try something local, and I asked the guy, "Oh, is this vegetarian?" He's like, "Yeah, just a little bit of pork, but it's vegetarian." I was like, "Wow."
Well, like saying that at a kosher deli or something.
Exactly. I was just thinking that too, as New Yorkers. Wait, I have, Rick, you asked the question about technology and experience. I mean, as a retailer, as like a real, like roll up your shirt sleeves kind of guy, like were people carrying shopping bags? Like are people shopping in China?
They were shopping They were shopping in China. I don't think that was my first time, so I can compare to what it was 5 years ago, and I didn't feel that consumption that at all. Like people were buying it, people were shopping, people were engaging. I don't know if you know how they do the payment, but it's like a unified payment experience. Everybody has an Alipay. I can show you to you later, but like it's basically, I think that was the most fascinating part. It's kind of unique. You point it, you pay.
The digital wallet, right?
It's incredible. It's incredible, and I think like it's pretty recent that foreigners can use in their app. So you can put your card in their app. Before you had to have a Chinese account, and now it's super easy nowadays. I even shop online by scanning a QR code, which is
as a Star Alliance loyalist and a person who sort of gets that component of things. I feel like in the American market, they've tried so hard to get a digital wallet there, and it just doesn't take hold. Do you feel like the loyalty component of things driving, like, what is it about the digital wallet in China? Because it seems to be just a massive driver of experience. Like, why there, not other places?
It's just a completely different ecosystem. It's I don't know, like the way the consumer journey is different. Like they don't have the brand's website where you shop. You go to another, like it's just different. So everybody communicates on WeChat. It's where you can send money to each other. That's where you can get a cab to go somewhere. That's where you can pay with. And a few stores had like WeChat WeChat experience, a WeChat mini program that you scan, and within the app you're engaging with the story. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like fascinating. It's just different, completely different than everything I've seen.
It's fascinating. I mean, it seems like wherever you go, I don't know if does it feel like the street just knows who you are? As you're walking down the street, you step into a cab, or you mention a Didi, you're being recorded. Things you're saying are being recorded. I swear, at home, if I say something and the Alexa is off, I'm going to see an ad on my phone. So I'm pretty sure I'm being monitored here in the US too, although that might change. But can you talk about the cultural attitudes in China from a legal and regulatory point of view versus, vis-a-vis like Europe and GDPR and American laws there? And
I met with many people, and I asked that to a lot of people. It was like, you don't have any problems, right? Like, I don't know. I tend to be a person that is very fine with giving my information away. Like, I don't get this so protective with like, oh, they're gonna know who I am.
yeah.
But there I felt like a bit creepy, and I was like, no, Paula, you have to embrace it. I think, yeah, like you walk into the cab and they have cameras. It's totally normal to be on the street where your favorite store is, and you get a notification showing that you have a discount. Paula, come in, we have something for you. I think that adds to the experience. Also, when you are on Tmall, the discount that they show on what you're viewing is personalized for you and things like that. I think there's a component on not having so much concern with privacy that can provide a better experience and provide a better service too. Like, imagine how many great things retailers could do if they could track everything.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, you want to give this experience.
It's like an
but
advertiser's dream.
Exactly. But when you asked before, you said the street, I was thinking the street or the party wants to know, right? And I think that is, and would love to understand better, like, that fine line in your opinion, Paula, about I'm one who gives all my private information away, right? I believe 1 million people already have my social security number. There's no harm in giving away details. Two-factor authentication has protected me to a degree which I can. But like, how do you think it here versus there, or other versus there? I mean, how much of a factor is the party in it's just the way of life, right? So giving away all of your information, succumbing to the realities have been bolstered by, or have been used to bolster the experience by retail companies and brands. Like, is that what it is? Like, talk about that.